Yeah, okay, you could go first.
Yeah, we don't want to hold you up all night.
Good evening. Thanks for the invitation back to address City Council tonight's work session. Just in the form of setting some baseline. In September 2013, the City Council passed a resolution approving the City Administration as well for an RFP for energy services projects. We did issue that RFP. We had 9 ESCO companies make inquiries. We had 3 make proposals. The committee that worked on the evaluation of proposals has narrowed the companies down to 2. We believe they're very highly qualified companies that specialize in lighting. A significant emphasis was put on the lighting because of the obviously the age of the lighting system, the energy consumption, and the potential to really make these systems energy efficient. Today we have 2 of those finalists with us. One is Smart Watt Energy from Albany, New York, and Civil Company, which is headquartered in the U.S. in Washington. They'll both give you additional information on their background. I had asked each of them to prepare a 20-minute presentation to give you the highlights of what the proposal is and how that can help the
two of them.
city of Hazleton.
Oh, I got them,
As a follow-up to this meeting, the committee will get together or evaluate the proposals and make certain that they're apples to apples, and then as we've always said, the process is transparent, and we'll make a recommendation back to the city council. And in addition to the presentations you're hearing tonight, we'll be looking to pursue some potential grants that may be out there to help reduce any debt service that may be associated with the project. So again, thank you. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn the meeting at this point in time over to Smart Watt Energy. I'm going to introduce you to Tony Atkins. He's the regional manager for Smart Watt, and he's going to start the presentation and pass it on. 20 minutes. Obviously, the questions are up to you guys. Okay, and then we'll put the second company on. Does that work?
That's good.
Thank you. Tony.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Greg Royer. I'm a project development engineer with Smart Watt. Does everybody have a copy of the handout? Okay. And then Tony Akron is our Mid-Atlantic Regional Manager.
How you doing, guys? Greg, take it away.
Now, if you have any questions, I'd prefer to keep this informal. Just cut me off and ask away. You know, I'd rather get to them, you know, immediately than at the end. So the agenda for this presentation, we're going to talk about who is Smart Watt, what is an energy performance contract, the scope of work for the street lighting, some financial aspects of the project, and then we'll close out with why we think we're the best company for it. So Smart Watt's a national company. We've got 16 offices located across the nation. We've got about 250 employees, 10 of which are professionally licensed engineers across the Northeast. We were recently ranked as one of the top 10 fastest growing energy firms in the nation. One thing that I think sets us apart is we self-perform 100% of our electrical work with our team of over 100 electricians. We do all our own design and engineering in-house, and then once it goes over to the project implementation side, that's when our in-house project development team takes over and builds and constructs the project, after which it gets kicked back to our engineering department, and they monitor and verify the performance of the project for the term of you know, whatever set. In this scenario, which we're going to talk about later, this would be a 10-year financial term. This diagram here just gives you an idea of our turnkey process from start to finish. And every slide that's up on the board is also going to be included in your handout. So now, what is performance contracting? Has anybody here ever done a performance contract? Are you familiar with the process? Okay. So back in '98, the state of Pennsylvania enacted Act 39, which is the energy law under the state of Pennsylvania. What this law allows is for public entities, municipalities to basically self-fund projects through a performance contract model. So the model basically states that an energy savings project generates annual savings, has to pay for itself over X amount of years. We've set this project for 10 years because financially that's what makes the most sense. It generates a nice positive cash flow and pays for the project under that term. Now, what else is special about a performance contract model is it doesn't require voter approval and it does not impact your debt limit. That's very important, when compared to a capital type project. And I do have I've got a kind of a comparative to a capital at the next slide. But this really, offers a very attractive way for the city to fund a street lighting project through this model. Part of the law requires companies like SmartWatt to guarantee that energy savings. So the savings that we're presenting for this project is going to be guaranteed for the 10-year term of the project. So that means we're not going to just install a project and walk away and say thank you. We're going to be, providing ongoing support for the full 10-year term. Any warranty issues get directly, directed to SmartWatt, and we handle everything throughout that 10-year finance cycle. The next slide on page 7 gives you a side-by-side comparison of what makes a performance contract special. Again, it doesn't require voter approval, does not impact debt limit. The savings is guaranteed by SmartWatt. And it really allows for us to install a high-quality product, a longer warranty, something that's really going to offer the best solution. Now, when compared to a capital improvement or low bid project, you've got to go out for voter approval. You've got to raise taxes. It is going to increase your debt limit. The savings isn't guaranteed. It's a low bid. In some low bid situations, you pay for what you get. So that's, those are the biggest differences. Now, where we are now in this project, through a capital low bid project, you'd have to hire a design engineer to put a bid specification together and essentially subcontract or solicit bids for a project like this. It's just a lot of administration work on the city's behalf that you don't have to go through in the performance contract model. Okay, now the scope of work that we're going to be looking at is basically 1,464 street lighting fixtures. We brought a couple samples with us. This kind of gives you an idea of what the fixtures are going to look like. This fixture is manufactured by a company based in the U.S. called Cree. Cree is the largest LED chip manufacturer in the U.S. And these fixtures, part of the reason, aside from U.S. made, excuse me, is that they carry a 10-year warranty. So, we selected this fixture because for 10 years you're not going to have to, worry about the system. But if you do have problems, we're also guaranteeing the maintenance on the system. So any warranty repairs are completely covered by SmartWatt for the entire 10-year term. And the next slide just kind of gives you a comparative. For example, the 400-watt high-pressure sodium that you currently have would be replaced with a 168-watt LED fixture. These fixtures are also going to have a higher color temperature. They're going to give you more of a daylight type light, which to the eye is going to look brighter. It's going to brighten up the area. It's really going to give you a more clear lighting level. Yes?
I have a question.
Sure.
As far as it's going to be a brighter light and whatnot, but how far does it extend out and compared to the lighting that we're using now? Is it a smaller?
No, it's actually going to spread further. So just to show you, these little chipboard are actually specifically designed to spread light. So you may have seen other LED fixtures where they look like little dots that are shooting straight down. These are designed to kick out, and we can actually pick whatever light distribution pattern we want, but we picked a level that's going to evenly distribute the light, throughout the streets.
One of my concerns is the lighting in, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm growing older. It seems awfully dark at night in Hazleton, all right? And I think that would be a major deterrent to crime that's going on if we can brighten up the city
Absolutely.
as much as possible. That's why I asked, but thank you.
Yeah, this is going to give you, assuming that all your lights were currently working, just doing a one-for-one with these is going to dramatically increase the light level. It's going to be very significant.
I see that there's four bubbles there. Are they 4 bulbs?
Essentially, this one has 5 LED
5, yeah, 5, sorry.
diodes. So they're actual diodes on a chipboard,
Yeah.
and those are produce light. Essentially, the electricity comes through a driver, which is, converts the electricity back to the diodes.
If
and-
one goes out, do they all go out, or could one go out and 4 remain on that, or how does that work?
I have seen that happen, but typically, if it's going to go out, the whole board's going to go
So
out.
the whole, okay,
Yeah.
rarely, okay, so they're
So
connected.
Then we
Yeah.
know when the light's out, they have to be
So
replaced.
so one
Exactly.
won't just go off
Right.
normally?
I'm sorry, how, would these go on the poles that we have in the city at present time? It looks like there just would be an extender that you would put on the pole that we have and then connect this on in? Or does this require a whole different pole, or how would we do that?
No, so these are designed, there's several different mounting options for these fixtures, but essentially they're going to mount right onto your existing poles.
I see.
Now,
And there's a difference, obviously, in the amount of light that you're going to get out of that one from this one that looks like, almost like an operating room light.
yeah, so this would replace an existing 400 watt, and this would replace an existing 100-watt fixture. And that's why I wanted to include that table, because not every fixture is going to require the same, the existing fixture is not going to require the same proposed fixture. So for a 70-watt high-pressure sodium fixture, you're only going to need a 25-watt LED fixture. For a 400-watt high-pressure sodium, you'll need a 168-watt, which is going to give you an equivalent light output.
And have you done a study on how many of each of these we have within the city at this point?
Yes.
Okay, and if this is the breakdown, no, these are just
Yeah, so
existing quantity of each, that's the actual count of what we have of each of these?
exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Excuse me. Now, the system maintenance on this, again, is going to be maintenance-free for 10 years minimum. That's going to be guaranteed by SmartWatt. They're warranted for 10 years. We're guaranteeing the maintenance for 10 years. But this fixture, realistically, you could expect, 20 to 30 years life out of the fixture before you have to.
20 to 30 years out of a light, okay.
Yep. Now, these fixtures are specifically designed if a chipboard or a driver goes out, you just drop the housing, pop a new driver in, and away you go. You don't have to replace the entire fixture all over again. These are designed for, future maintenance later on down the road.
How difficult is it to do the replacements? Because I'm sure it's probably going to be our personnel from the city, so.
Yeah, so after the 10-year term, literally you pull a pin with a key, drops the door out, and a good electrician could have this changed in less than 5 minutes.
That's the inside.
So basically, they designed it to make it fairly simple for installation as well. They have an adjustable bracket in multiple sizes, which that you're asking. Also, for installation, there are levels here. It's important that LED lights are level when they're installed, so So you have two levels as well for installation. Here's your driver. Okay, this is what converts the AC in power to DC power that then powers this LED board. And then specifically, as Greg was mentioning, these are optics that are put on top of the LED chip to make that distribution what we want it to be. So you're not just basically flooding light directly under the fixture, so that you're really able to engineer and look at how far apart are those poles, how do we need to spread this light. Let's use the proper optic.
That was another question. With this type of lighting, do we have to have more poles?
You don't.
No, okay.
Because we have the ability to put the correct optic and actually engineer out, look at the poles and say, okay, we need a 80-degree optic on this fixture, we need a 120-degree optic on this fixture. You can actually design for each individual application by utilizing these optics.
Okay. Thank you.
But in terms of installation, fairly simple, and maintenance, fairly simple.
Okay.
Joe just gave me a time warning, so I'd like to skip to page 12, if you don't mind. And really jump into the project financials. So again, this project is, the savings is guaranteed, and how we guarantee that is based on run hours, existing wattages, proposed wattages, and then your current cost for electricity. And then each year thereafter, we do what's called measurement and verification, where we actually come on site with engineers, make sure the system's performing as guaranteed, and if there's any problems where it's not meeting the savings that we're guaranteed, we come back to correct the issue, and if for some reason it can't be corrected, then we would actually cut you a check for the difference. So let's say $100,000 in savings, we're only meeting 80, we would owe you each year $20,000 for the difference. So it is zero risk on the city's part. Now the incentive from PPL is going to be about $50,000 for this project. SmartWatt also guarantees that incentive, so we would take that off the top of the project cost, which is going to reduce interest over the financial term. If you would prefer to take the incentive payment directly, we can arrange that also, but it's going to take a lot of risk off you by us guaranteeing that incentive from the utility company. And really, one thing to consider about this project is, although it is an energy project, it's going to significantly defer capital costs, down the road. If you were to have to do this later on, or even changing 100 fixtures a year, it's an expensive proposition to do through a capital method.
We just lost our one maintenance man through the department that did the changing of all the light fixtures, and it was a massive job for him. He did a good job, but that was one of my concerns: how often they had to be changed and whatnot, and the amount of light. Only because I want to see the city brightened up.
Oh, it's going to be
brighter. The brighter it is, the less crime we have.
It'll be brighter. I can guarantee you that.
Thank you.
Now, next slide just kind of gives you a breakdown of what's included in the project. So material cost includes, the LED fixture, for the corresponding wattage of your existing system. It also includes a safety tag, black and yellow tape. Why that's important is because the utility company is requiring that on the fixtures when they go through to take their inventory and basically punch out, fixtures that have been replaced with the new system. The installation cost breakdown, fixture, because we have to follow PEN DOT standards, we're going to have a flagger, a spotter, a bucket truck driver, and an electrician actually doing the fixture changeout. That includes hazardous material recycling, any unforeseen wiring, any mast arm issues if we have to replace the mast arms, material use tax, prevailing wage rate, and then also bonding on the project. Our project going in with what we're presenting you today is to exclude having to do a million change orders. We don't want to have any change orders on this project. We want to say, here's the project, and you let us, take it from start to finish, and no headache on your part.
Please excuse me, you're talking to a young man who never took one day of shop in his life, so I know nothing about this. When you're talking hazardous material recycling here, which hazardous materials would we have there?
So the fixtures
The old
themselves-
lights themselves, the old fixtures, or what?
Exactly. Yep.
They're considered hazardous?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the high-pressure sodium lamps that you currently have do contain a fair amount of mercury.
Oh, okay.
One or two aren't necessarily completely hazardous, but when you have a group of them in one spot,
I see.
they're considered very hazardous. So they
Okay.
need to be disposed of in a specific fashion. We actually have special boxes for them. They get put in those boxes, sealed, palletized, shrink wrapped, and then we have a specific company pick them up, give us a bill of lading when they do, and then we provide you with a hazardous certificate after the fact that they were disposed of properly.
Okay, thank you.
And that also includes removal of the old fixtures offsite. Okay, so just to wrap things up, the cash flow on page 14, this project is going to generate $385,000 in positive cash after 10 years. And you'll notice in year 0, during the construction period, we're estimating that you're going to generate about $91,000 in positive cash year 1. And then just to wrap it up, I know we're short on time. We're proposing a no-cost IGA, which is the next step in the process. That's going to be the investment grade audit where we, verify fixture wattages counts, and then, design the actual installed project, guaranteed incentives. We self-perform 100% of the electrical installation, the engineering, the design, everything's done in-house. So there's not, various subcontractors running around. And then, our philosophy is more of a design build versus a capital type project. And, Smart Watt with 16 offices across the nation, we have a very good understanding for lighting systems. That's what we know and that's what we do best. And just real quick, the last slide on page 16, just a list of some projects that we've done locally. We just completed a project with the Hazleton Housing Authority, and if you drive by there, they've got this exact fixture up in a few spots. If you're in the area, feel free to take a look at night.
Which building?
I was just
Which
gonna say,
building?
which buildings?
Tony would know better.
That's Hazleton Housing Authority.
On Vine Street, on,
On Juniper,
or Vine?
I believe it's on Vine.
Vine Manor.
by Giant
Right, so
Supermarket.
basically we just completed the entire retrofit of the entire housing authority, and there were some streetlights that were associated with that. So we did use this specific product. You should be able to take a look at it.
Okay, I'll drive by on my way home. It's
Excellent.
on the way.
Okay. And that's pretty much it. Our contact information's on the back if you have any more questions.
How long would it take to do the whole city?
I'm thinking about 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, going through the right process, flaggers, it does take some time.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
Very
Thank
good
you, appreciate
presentation.
it.
Sorry, I feel like I'm the guy that has the hook at the vaudeville show and so forth. But I want to pay respect to your time tonight, and I know you have a lot of questions, and I don't want to seem as if I'm cutting those questions off. So please, great questions. But I also want to introduce to you our team that came from Washington, D.C., okay, with Sidlam. And the team is, it's led by J.C. Florenson, who's going to kick off the presentation on behalf of Sidlam, and then introduce his team to the city council. You good?
We have to do a change out order.
money to like a big giant company.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank the Council for the opportunity to present our first very important project for Hazleton and for our. Let me start with a brief introduction on who we are. Hazleton has been created 20 years ago. Our mother company is EDF, one of the largest utilities in the world, doing over $98 billion in revenue last year. And what we do is streetlight management, meaning we design, finance, build, operate and maintain, and guarantee the energy savings of the streetlight system all over the world. So we started in Europe with Paris, where we have over 20 years experience. We recently were awarded the contract to do 20,000 LED upgrades in Copenhagen. And we also are present in all the capital cities like Madrid, Prague, and also around the world in China, Australia. And we won the first public-private partnership for streetlight in Americas with Mexico City. So it's $280 million, where CTLM has invested over $100 million in energy-efficient fixture and infrastructure work. Our first significant contract in the US was with Washington, D.C., where we have the responsibility to manage the 70,000 streetlights of the nation's capital. So today, we have roughly 2.5 million streetlights under our management, with more than 3,000 employees and a revenue of 170 million. So, which put us in a position where we buy a lot of LEDs, and we are probably the company that can put the most competitive offer on the table for cities around the world. All this growth in every country is made with local partners. We believe in creating local jobs, contributing to the city economic development. And for the project in Hazleton, our local operational partner is JT Kennedy. So Jim Kennedy is with us today.
Thank you.
I think you guys know him. So the company has been working with the city for over 23 years. They know everything about the utility, the infrastructure, the history, and that's a high value to perform a contract like this one. So we believe that CTLM Kennedy brings the best of the international best practice and the local expertise to perform this project. So if you want to go into the approach that we have designed for Hazleton.
Thank you, JC.
So, I'm not sure if you're really down in front of the room, but you're exactly each step.
Excuse me, could you turn the microphone towards you? Thank you. Thanks.
So what we do is, as they say, do one thing and do it well. We do and have done for as many years as JC described, outdoor lighting, street lights. We've thought of everything. We bring everything in-house. As you see, Ms. Mope, you said you lost your maintenance man. We have a local person that everyone trusts to do the maintenance and help with the installation. So you're avoiding having subcontractors and avoiding that extra margin that gets added, and everything becomes more efficient in the contract. So our comprehensive methodology and approach, just to go through it quickly, we come up with a full lighting master plan, which includes an energy audit. We come up here in an actual automobile that has a light meter, and we manage the photometric assessment. We then move on to the upgrades using Mr. Kennedy and his group, with us managing it. And then, of course, we stick around as well for the 10 years and do the O&M using Mr. Kennedy as well. Obviously, it's about energy efficiency and finding you a massive energy savings. We also have baked in the cost of outside providers, such as Mr. Kennedy, and all the contractual and financial aspects as well. So many ESCOs, they'll come in with Excel sheets and do an energy audit. We take this a step further. We really try to get to know the city. We've been walking around all day looking at the lights. And we'll do an entire inventory grid, really try to figure out what you need and how to improve the city. The idea here is that there's some risks when we've experienced with a complete system upgrade that there's some risks involved. So it's not meant to be just an energy program. It is really an opportunity to improve Hazleton, right? So we're looking at public safety, things that may be close to your hearts, like making the playground safer, softball fields, little league fields, things like that, using some of the money we find in the savings to upgrade those. And this all becomes part of our expertise in our lighting master plan, And we use this to improve the city, make it better, make it safer, greener, all the things that we all want for Hazleton. Okay, another risk we find is that, yes, LEDs are great, but it's not about the product. The LEDs don't solve all your problems. You need expertise to really think of it as a full solution. So we didn't bring any specific samples today because we're more agnostic with the lighting manufacturers. So always keeping an eye to Buy American. We have a pool, you'll hear from Jim Bateman, to look at the best price to reduce the risk for you guys. We have a pool of basically Cooper, Cree, and Phillips and others if they apply, and we will talk to them and use our years of relationship with them. Yes, ma'am?
Is it the same type of light?
It looks the same, yeah. It looks the same. They're generally.
We just believe that relying on only one manufacturer is usually not the best economic solution, and we like to introduce competition. And it's also reduce the risk for the cities in terms of technical approach to have a pool of like the best manufacturer. So we work with Cree, that was the manufacturer abroad, and also Philips and Cooper Lighting, that are one of the top 3 companies in terms of LED project.
So again, just replacing with LEDs one for one, things can happen like this picture, kind of comical, but it happens. You have cars racing around, knockdowns they're called. We employ our software, a pool of LEDs, as we said, and make the grid truly smart. And again, the idea is that it's a solution to begin solving the problems that Hazleton has, not just an energy project, as we're calling it that. And then finally, the risk is that in terms of your energy bill and turning things green, let's not let it get too dim or too dark. You've mentioned that the city looks dark. These days, we certainly want to brighten it up. So this is basically your energy bill. It's the wattage quantity times burning hours times energy price. The one thing you can change is the wattage. So many times cities, in our experience, have been tempted to go what's called under wattage. We will come up here before, during, and after. That's our smart car with our photomobile. Make sure that we're maintaining a level of lighting analysis, because if you go too low on the wattage, it's going to hurt your lighting performance and it's not going to look uniform. So
that was one of my
yeah.
things, because I wanted a brighter cities for less crime.
Absolutely. So it's not only no cost, but we're reducing that risk. Everyone will tell you it's low cost because of the way the financing of an ESPC, but it's also low risk. So, we've even seen cities where lighting is so low it becomes a liability even when you do the swap. So this is a guarantee and a comfortable level for you guys and for everybody that meets lighting standards, national standards, and allows you to move on to the next way to improve Hazleton. And now Jim Bateman is going to talk about the schedule and how we would implement it.
Thank you, John. How long is this going to take? I heard y'all ask that question. First thing we're going to do, as John explained, was a photometric survey. We're going to go out and we're going to drive through every street and do light levels for each street in Hazleton. That way we'll know exactly what we need to do a proper design to increase the lighting as you requested. That's going to take about 3 weeks, start to finish. Then we're going to take those results back to our design team, and they're actually going to custom design a lighting schedule for your town. It's not going to be an exact one-for-one replacement. If we replace a fixture one-for-one and a light that you're thinking is too dark now, it's probably going to be too dark then. We might need a bigger light. So we're going to take our test results and we're going to tailor-make this system to your town. Okay.
Most of the city, as far as I'm concerned, needs to be brightened up, the whole city. But besides that, I have a question.
Sure.
Some of our businesses have bright lights on that business. Now, when you go around with that truck, will that affect your ability to determine what type of light needs? Because suppose that business moves out and then you're not having that bright light there anymore. Will that determine the light that you're going to put above? Do you take that in consideration in case this is gone
We do take that in consideration. When we do the photometric survey, we do it like after hours, like in DC, for instance, we don't start until like midnight. We do from like midnight to 4.
Because some of our businesses keep an arc light
Right.
basically burning due to the fact it's dark, and we
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate that because we need to see when we're driving.
Right.
But once they're gone, then that light is no longer there, so I didn't know how it would affect what you determined for the pole.
Our design team will take that into account when they're doing the design for the city, if that's your question.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Let's see, after that, we will come back with the final contract proposal. We'll tell you exactly what we're gonna put in, exactly how we're gonna do it. We'll show you the design, it'll take about a week. After everybody agrees to it, then we'll start getting our materials in. We'll know exactly which fixtures are gonna go in which spot. We'll be able to start placing the orders. Depending on what fixtures we decide, the procurement time could be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, depending on which one it is. Once everything comes in, we'll start doing the upgrade installation. That will probably overlap a little bit with the material and procurement because different materials are gonna have different lead times a little bit. We're figuring it's gonna take about 6 weeks to do the entire city. That's, we were assuming 3 crews, that's between 18 and 20 fixtures per crew per day, which is about what we found to be.
Do you need the flag team in the whole 9 yards, like he had said in the other proposal? The bucket guy, the flag guy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Hold on a minute.
Okay, just checking.
Excellent question. After we do all that, we would be doing the training of your personnel, of your city people, whoever it is that's going to go out and work on the lights. We'll walk them through exactly how the work order system works that we'll be using. Anything that is special that they need to know on the lights, that'll probably take about a week. It's not real complicated, but it'll take a little time, about a week. After that, we'll do the completion reports and the commissioning, which you all go out, take a look at everything, and sign off on, which we're assuming will take about 8 weeks as well, and then we'll be done. Any questions?
No.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim.
Do we have guaranteed savings?
Sorry?
Guaranteed savings?
Yes, that's all our contracts around the world are either public-private partnership or performance guarantee contract, meaning we guarantee not only the energy savings, but the operation and maintenance as well. And so if we look at how the number works, and we've reached the same conclusion as our friend at SmartWatt, with a 10-year vision, there is more than enough money to pay for the upgrade and do it in a smart way, and not only energy, but looking at the service that we provide, because the people who elected you, they don't really care what type of light it is and how much energy it costs. What they want is they want to feel comfortable when they walk at night, when they drive around the city, and this is what I think Citelum is bringing to the table. It's not only a saving proposal, it's a lighting performance solution for Hazleton and tailor-made for your specific needs. And this is why we have not only the energy savings portion, but what we have called the lighting master plan to have like a specific solution for your city. So if we look at the number, we have like 64% energy conservation and significant maintenance savings, which allow us with our buying power to purchase the upgrade, have the installation made, and have a positive cash flow for the city that we will advise the city to keep maybe as an escrow account, because with infrastructure for the next 10 years, you never know what will happen. There is no such thing as maintenance free. There is driver, we will have like knocked on poles and all of that, and we will recommend to have this comprehensive approach about street lights.
Now, in the 10 years that we do this process, let's say, how fast does the upgrade do you see happening? Like, will it become obsolete? You know how computers and everything else, 1 minute they're brand new, the next minute they're already out of date. How long of a life before we really need to do a major upgrade again?
Right now, all our contracts, since we have like this over 2 million streetlights, we have all of the guarantee that we take are backed by the manufacturer. So for this contract, the 3 manufacturers that we have selected and we suggest will all guarantee their fixture for more than 10 years. So everything that we have shared with you today are not ideas. These are projects that we have designed, financed, installed, and operate and maintain system all over the world with cities from all sides, and deliver the energy savings as well as the maintenance performance.
Where is Fortaleza?
Brazil,
Okay,
beautiful city.
okay, thank you.
So to sum it up, so as I mentioned, this in terms of energy saving, that will be like 64% energy conservation, and now the investment that Citadel will make will be 653,000, and the 10-year vision allows for the payback with a positive cash flow.
Anyone have questions?
Oh, we interrupted him enough. I don't know about the rest of them.
Thank you very much.
Thank
No,
you.
Thank you.
Again, I thank you very much for your time. Dr. You have a question, Doc?
Not a question as much. We spoke just for a second before the meeting, and I think the taxpayers in Hazleton maybe should know about this as well. One of the things I think that would be of a help to us is if in your diligence of all of this, you were to speak to Furman and see, you know what, again, the community development block grants are there. Community development is something that can help out in regards to this and reduce the cost of any of this even further. Have you gentlemen in either case worked with community development grants before? I'm sure you have, and have been able to reduce things like that, some of the costs that get incurred.
This is one of the value of the lighting master plan.
Yes,
is
sir.
To get different stakeholders
Right,
involved. And
right.
that's usually a great way to access all these sources of funding
Right.
and reduce the overall scope of the project.
Okay, and any expertise that either of your companies have towards that, I would ask, by all means, if you could bring to the table as well.
Absolutely.
You know, Hazleton has a lot of issues that we've got to deal with, but obviously with any municipal government, money is always an issue, and so the best that we could do for our people would be the best that, you know, where we can save as well. I know you have savings within the energy production, but also just in the establishment of the lighting would be a help. So we would ask your help for that.
That sounds like a great idea, because if we're taking a look at the whole city, in the way I understand community block grants, you know, we could designate, you know, certain areas of the city for certain funding.
Right.
And we could manage that and phase the project in. Again, I want to thank you for allowing us to come in tonight. I think we're fortunate that we have two high-quality companies, okay, that have made proposals. The next steps that I plan on taking is to, Doctor, I'm going to use your word, to do the due diligence. I will be posing a series of questions to both companies to make sure I'm comparing apples to apples. We'll get the committee back together. I'll meet with the administration. Then we'll make a recommendation to City Council as we promised that we would do. So, again, I think this is part of the process that we laid out back in September, and we'll continue to stay on that process. I do have one closing point. We talked about street lighting today. This month is your lucky month. I came here in August, and we made some presentations with regards to electric pricing that's going to go into effect May 2014. I'm here to tell you those prices are going into effect today as we speak. Okay, you're below 4 cents a kilowatt hour. And when I compare budget year to budget year, the budget for street lighting on the energy side of it will be reduced by over $30,000 because of that. And you locked it in at a great time when the energy market was way down. And for the city facilities, city hall, street lighting, and traffic lights and so forth, you'll be saving another $12,000 effective this month. Again, thank you very much, and I'm always available if you guys have some questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you for coming.
Very good presentation.
Yeah, we're going to do the